how many of them there were. Were you given food?
But the teachers are alive. They're not books. They are the very living essences of nature itself.
What a strange person.
Unbelievably powerful supercomputer that's running our reality, and we don't have a clue as to how to operate it.
So when maybe you or somebody else creates an AGI system and you get to ask her one question, what would that question be?
What's outside the simulation?
Say in your mind, say to yourself, I am more than my physical body, because I am more than physical matter. I can perceive that which is greater than the physical world.
Welcome to Lighting the Void.
Broadcasting from a shack on a hill in the mossy creek bottoms of Cane Creek, Arkansas. This is Lighting the Void, and I'm your host, Joe Roop. In fact, tonight it is Cosmic Conditions with our co-host, Mary Dusina. You know what time it is, right? The moon goes dark and new. We talk about the new energies that are coming in, and this one's going to be a big one. Another one of those really important moments in history for us all. Right now, as we tap into the Leo energy of the moon and the cosmos and all that good stuff, right? Mary Dusina's here with us. So what we're going to do, instead of just jumping right in, I do got to thank the patrons, though. I want to thank the patrons for supporting the show. Thank you so much. If you want to support the show, go donate, lightingthevoid.com. Now, instead of just going through the whole spiel, we're going to get right into this because Mary's got a lot to say. And if you've never heard of Mary Dusina before, I don't know why you haven't, but she comes on this show. She's my actual birth mother. She just doesn't know it. No, I'm just playing. But she is birth mother to the show. And when we do new moons, when the new moons hit, she comes on and shares her genuine psychic abilities with us for free. If you call in at 1-800-588-0335, that's after she gives the messages of the planets and all of the stuff that's coming towards us now, the signs, rather. And so when we open up the phone lines, you can call in 1-800-588-0335. You can also go join the Fringe FM chat room by going to thefringe.fm/chat room. Quick shout out to GetTheT.com, AncientLifeOil.com, and Metaphorical Archaeology for supporting the network. And Mary, welcome back. Thanks for coming on the show again and again and again and again.
I love the Leo new moon, and it's so auspicious for all of us, especially because what is your show called? Lighting the Void. And so when we have the new moon in Leo, just the new moon in Leo, it's our great star in the Milky Way. Leo is the heart chakra. It has everything to do with to be encouraged, to summon courage within ourselves, and then to be a light worker, to work with the light so that we can help not only ourselves overcome and be triumphant over the darkness that we have to dip into with our ego, maybe some past life stuff, maybe some spiritual warfare that we've got going on. All of us at some point or another will come up against the dark and the light, the angelic and the demonic and the principalities and orders and powers that we in this lifetime can struggle against. And so when we decide that it's a shift in our focus, and at some point in your life, regardless of your age, regardless of your background, your culture, how you were trained and entrained by society, the family, the pluses or the minuses, when you, as a sovereign soul, an empowered, multidimensional, energetic frequency, choose that it's not going to be, I don't know, I abide by the light. I am imbued by the light. My choice is the light from this point forward. So does that mean that you're never going to have a bad day? No. Does it mean that you're never going to have challenges to overcome? No. But the shift in your consciousness, when you know that you've made that affirmative action, when you've made that discipline, and it will require discipline, okay? I can tell you, in being a metaphysician, teaching metaphysics, working with holistic healing, being still a student of astrology after 35 years, and the tarot and all that I do, and numerology and Reiki and all of that, I promise you that not just the original flight of fancy and intrigue and, oh, hurry up, I want to learn everything psychically, and I want to learn everything about my aura, and I want to learn everything about how to read that lover. When you put the time and the dedication in, there's this point to where you truly know. It's not a guess. It's not, you stop second guessing yourself when you truly know, I serve the light and the light serves me. So before I get into the cosmic conditions and the weather, would everybody just please, just for a second, so we can dedicate even more energy to each of us, to the tribe of this show, to our host, our Captain Aries, and also for your own healing and prosperity and new beginnings and magic of what a new moon seeds are, especially this one, and I'll tell you why. Just breathe in. And as you begin to exhale, and this will be quick, but oh so powerful, as you put your attention just on your breathing, as you breathe in, I am one with the light, and as you exhale, all is now well with my soul. Great Spirit, Almighty I am. Across all time and space and frequencies, we allow the imbuement of the light. We choose the light. We understand that in navigating and rising up triumphant over any of our darkness, by casting away and rebuking any and all uninvited influences and energies, we are shielded, we are empowered, and therefore we have a chosen obligation to help other souls along the path, be they winged ones, two-leggeds, the four-leggeds, the ones that swim, or the sky creatures. We choose at this point with this magnanimous double Leo new moon to allow the seeds of life and the seeds of light to weed and feed the garden of this earth birth experience. Thank you for our life. Thank you for my life and the ability to really live it and be the legendary love that I know I have within me. And so it is, and so it is, so be it. Okay, here's the nuts and bolts.
So mote it be.
So mote it be. Blessed be. Okay, so this new moon, here's the first thing, and get your pens and paper if you're not recording this right now. This new moon completes the original light seeds of the great North American eclipse that happened on August the 21st, 2017, on the star Regulus, the heart of the lion. So that 29-degree Leo hadn't happened for 99 and a half years across that point in North America, and we got to witness it. We all got to witness it in its eclipse path. This moon, sun, and Mercury combust, meaning that Mercury and the sun are side by side, and even when the sun shifts into Virgo on the 22nd and Mercury on the 19th shifts into Virgo, they're still going to be combust. They're still going to be right next to each other. So when a planet is combust with the sun's the boss. So the sun and this new moon, there's a trio going on, a couple of trios. This new moon and the sun, our great star of the Milky Way, rules the sign of Leo. Leo's theme is I create. The natural fifth house in Western astrology. And so it's the full regal royal energies of, like, think about the color of the violet flame of Saint Germain, purples and golds and you know, the lion that rises up, the king of beasts, you know, and everything that has to do with that sass and that power and that ability to feel okay in your own skin and give yourself permission to be your authentic self through your personality expressions and the ability to change, you know, to make mistakes, fall down, get back up again and go, okay, that was interesting. So this has the sun and the moon, which happens at every new moon. So we have the black of the moon, the dark of the moon, and from this point on, like we'll next go into the sliver of the moon, each new moon plants different seeds. So the heads up is, if you can find out or you know the zone or the house, as we call it in Western astrology, of the Leo fire, it's the second fire sign. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius are our fire signs. This one is falling in by degree 26 and some 31, 35 minutes of Leo, so it's falling in the third decan of Leo. So these are the king of kings. These are the sassy Leo type of energy. So happy birthday, sassy Leos. And so this third realm, this final third of the Leo birthdays that are happening from this point all the way into when it shifts into Virgo, this pulls in like the constellation Hydra and a couple of Arabic stars that say you can rise up above any disaster. But if we keep putting ourselves against ourselves, this is where the challenge of Leo comes in. People wrongly assume that Leos come in really confident. If you have a Leo rising or a Leo moon or a Leo sun sign, you know, a lot of times that's a false confidence. Leo has to learn to love themselves. And so they act out in various ways to try to get that approval or that applause. So where Leo is in your chart is being lit up right now, and it's where the fire is. It's the style or the type of fire that you're bringing into your life right now. So what's that fire? Especially with Mars in the first fire sign. Mars is home and happy and Aries. So yes, it'll make some challenges to the other trio we have of the planets retrograde in Capricorn, Pluto and Jupiter and Saturn. Yeah, and then Moon will go into Libra this weekend. So it's wanting us to have diplomacy and adjust to everyone else around us. It's not a weekend to be pushy. It's a weekend to test our skills to be diplomatic and open to new ideas rather than being too assertive and aggressive and bringing out that shadow side of Mars and Aries. So think about Aries being like the mechanic of things, like when you have to fix something on your vehicle or when you need to kind of do an overall maintenance on something in your house. So the mechanics of creativity right now is being fueled by Mars and Aries, and the sun is giving you the ambition with this black moon and the confidence and the mood and the mojo and the magic of being inspired. So at 26 degrees, when you do it in numerology, 2 + 6 = 8. That's our infinity. And so we are the light. We're lighting our own tiki torches. We're the light in the dark. We're the light of the campfire, the ceremonial ritual. So it's like, right now it's like, what do you want to delete? Like on your computer, when you do Control, Alt, Delete, you know, sometimes when the computer won't shut off, the old laptops. So this is like weed and feed. Like I said, you want to delete out, because last month's new moon in Cancer was the mother-father issues, healing the inner child, and now it's showtime. Now the lights are on, and it's like, okay, at least you listened, and you knew that it was time to kind of deal with some of your issues of abandonment and rejection and what you did or didn't get or you do or you don't like about your parental life story, and now it's Leo. Now you're like the teenager. Now you're like the college student leaving home. Now let's pretend Corona-Rona's not going on in the pandemic. Now it's about, I got to do this. I mean, I've got to step forward and do this. So the Cancerian new moon of last month we're completing, and the big eclipse across North America, the royal eclipse of Leo, is saying, it's like at the final scene of The Wizard of Oz when Glinda the Good Witch turns to Dorothy and said, you've had the power all along, my dear. So this is about stepping into your power. Push play. You know, you're getting ready to listen to a podcast, you're getting ready to do your own podcast, you're getting ready to actually view the work that you've done. Push play. And if you've ever if you've ever been to a drag queen show, if you've ever even watched on YouTube or television RuPaul, who's older and was one of the first ones to take all the vitriol and all the criticism and all the disdain, to actually stand firm. I'm pretty sure he's a Scorpio and wanted to do drag. I think it's called Drag Races by RuPaul, and really brought big attention. He was like a pioneer in bringing big attention to drag queens and having his own fashion show for all that. So he went through the dark night of his soul on a bunch of counts. I don't know him personally, but when somebody really takes the heat and stays true to the fire of the legend of what they want to be, he just didn't go off in a corner and choose to be a drag queen in clubs behind the scenes. He brought it into the spotlight. So that action of doing that and getting even more fire into your creativity, this is the most optimistic, royal, empowered full moon of 2020. So I want to remind you that no matter what's going on externally in the outer world, the political, the explosions, if you've studied anything in astrology, when Aries comes up against Capricorn, there's going to be those that try to mandate us and give us rules and push back, and then Aries is going to be like, enough is enough.
Done with
enough
the Capricorn,
is enough.
For sure.
Well, here's where we start taking notes. So here's where we start taking notes.
We got the pen.
So we had on the 15th, and this will happen several times, which we'll talk about on the shows when it comes up, because Mars is going to stay into Aries until like January of 2021. I like Mars in Aries because it's home, and any astrologer likes to track a planet when it's in its home base, happy place. So yes, it challenges some signs, but if you're a Leo, a Sagittarius, a Gemini, Aquarius, Libra, the fire in the air signs right now are pretty much getting lit up in good ways. There's opportunities, there's backers, there's people that are interested in supporting your idea, your creativity, and it's time to express, no matter what sign you are, what your passion is and what you feel like that you could bring to the table to advance your own interest. That's Leo. Now, so Leo is about believing in yourself first, but not being so pushy or arrogant that you don't consider other people's desires and dreams too. So think back. This is the 18th. Think back to about 3 days ago when Mars and Aries squared off with Saturn retrograde in Capricorn. There was riots again in Hong Kong, with communist China. There's riots there's explosions that have happened not just in Beirut, but all over. Look at the wildfires in the Leo state of Colorado. And those of you that get on my Cosmic Conditions Facebook page, and on Instagram, I'm calling for us to unite as light workers for the fires that are in the western part of the United States, that we can see them safely resolve, the firefighters, the animals, the terrain. It's like getting ready to, I'll cancel that. It was on its way to be one of the most historic fires Colorado's ever experienced. So I would like all of us, certainly listen to this podcast, to send soft rain and resolve and protection around Colorado, and it is a Leo state. So Colorado's been in its tough time until we got the sun in Leo in the third week of July. So on this month, on the 24th, we're going to have Mars come up to like the Lord of the underworld. Pluto is about, okay, I don't care that you spent all day at the beach on vacation building that beautiful art, that sand art that you're doing. That's really nice, and you had fun, but it's getting ready to be dark. It's tide's coming in. And so no matter what you try to do, and no matter how many people try to help you, at first the tide starts to come in. I've lived on the beach. First it starts to come in kind of soft, and the birds are running around. All of a sudden it just roars in because it takes a while, and it does it. And so no matter how you decorated your sand art, and I used to go to a lot of sandcastle competitions, they're amazing, but the ocean will eventually take it. It'll take it, whether it's in the night or whatever, and everybody's gone home. It'll take it back into Mother Ocean. So Pluto is that underpinning. It's that the secretive forces that can advance you if you understand the energetic signature of Pluto, or it can take it right out from under your feet. So when you think about Pluto, the natural ruler of the scorpionic phoenix, you want to shift your attention into being a phoenix. So it's okay if it combusts, fire, Aries, Leo. I know, but I'm going to reinvent myself. I know that it's just a little glitch in the system. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to learn from the delay. I'm going to learn from retrograde planet's delay. I'm going to learn from the mishap. I'm going to learn from this glitch. I'm going to get around it. So it's that creativity of Leo that says, oh, how arrogant of me to think that I'm not going to have some little burps along the way. I mean, who do I think I am? I am a creator. I'm a magician. So I know that when I'm casting magic, when I'm doing my affirmations and setting my intentions, like we're seeing in 2020, what is in the way of us manifesting our heart's desire is showing itself to us now. A lot of us were in denial. A lot of us, I mean, think back to all that you've been through over the last 3 years when that great North American eclipse happened. Think what's changed in your life in 3 years, especially on a personal, emotional, sexual, career. I mean, look at all that you really have evolved more than you're patting yourself on the back for. So this is that point of good karma and good reward for all of that. Get back up and go again, get back up and overcome it, and respect yourself, and don't let people talk down to you, and don't let people take advantage of you or kick you to the curb all the time just because you're working hard or you're showing up and doing the right thing. And it's also taught us, which Leo will, don't expect your own mood to be set every day by other people's approval. The shadow side of Leo has to have the applause. The shadow side of Leo has to have everybody laugh at their jokes all the time. They don't give anybody else a turn. It borders on the whole narcissistic, it's all about me type of a thing. It can get very self-entitled. And that's similar to the shadow of Capricorn, which we still got operating until we get to winter solstice of this year. We've got a lot of that Capricorn stuff trying to work itself out. So, and you already can see, no matter where you live in the world, the problem between we the people, Aquarius, and those that are trying to shove all these rules and everything they want us to do their way and not really caring about what the working people and we the people feel that is the right thing as far as humanity. That's the difference between Aquarius and Capricorn. It's all going to be shifting more into Aquarius, even Saturn. So just to give you a heads up so you can plan, because we astrologers, like I'm already looking at 2021, but I want to give you a couple of dates that Joe and I will talk to you about as we come into these shows. But it's good to know when planets are going direct. So September 12th, Jupiter will go direct. September 28th, Saturn is going to turn direct. And October 4th, Pluto is going to turn direct. So there'll be new rules. There'll be new mandates. Power moves and the secrets will all come out. The work that we do now will reward us in those mid-September going into the first week of October dates. So Leo shifting into Virgo is saying, trust me when I tell you this. The work you do now, the bold, bright shifts and changes that you do now, the fire that you summon of your intention to achieve, your intention to do a better version of yourself, to show up and be your best self, that's going to be the light that carries you over the obstacles that we all have had to look at, and especially in May of this year when the node shifted into fire and air. So that's masculine again, that's yang energy. So we've got a lot of electrical frequencies. We're shifting into more yang, electrical, take action, rather than all that Cancer, Capricorn, and the Uranus and Taurus energy, so much earth and water, which is more yin and magnetic. So it's like sometimes you have to wait longer when there's a lot of magnetic energies going on, because whatever you've got in the way to pull it towards you can block you. When it's electrical, like Mars in Aries and the South Node in Sagittarius and the grand trine of this new moon, I'm telling you, the door of opportunity is going right here, right here. Do you see me? I'm right here in front of you. So you're going to walk through or not? So this is for each one of the signs. Leo, happy birthday. And if you're a Virgo right now, it's your 12th house. And this goes for sun signs or rising signs. To me, the rising sign is always the strongest, and I combine them. So if you're a Virgo, this is your yearly holistic psychological checkup. So you know how well your teeth are, and if they need a teeth cleaning, you know if you need to walk more or get a little more sunshine. So for Virgo right now, perfectionist that you can be, Virgos kind of run and escape and doing chores or like overthinking it and becoming a little anal retentive and OCD. So this is the time, if you're a Virgo or a Virgo rising especially, that you need to look in the mirror and have a little checkup with yourself and simply say, how are we doing? No, how are we doing really? So the things that have been nitpicking you or bugging you, you need to turn to it and say, okay, we need to find resolve. Leo is all about the creative resolution. If you're a Libra or you have a Libra rising sign, it's an 11th house stimulus, and it's like take the plunge, go for the golden ring. It's going to fit your finger. You may have a friend or an associate or associates that want to support you emotionally, psychologically, financially. Like I can see the goal right in sight if you've got strong Libra in your chart, and you guys really went through it 2018 up to this point in 2020. So bravo. Like, you're taking off a big fear coat right now. It does require some stepping forward. And for Libra, I would also say, as positive as you are to everybody else in your life, make sure you're taking a little look at that inner dialogue, that you're not, the people in your life that you think are always kind of surly and too negative, make sure you're not doing that to yourself in your own head about things, because the air signs are always about communication and dialogue, and that includes self-talk. If you're a Scorpio, it's 10th house, it's showtime. Leo, 10th house, the sign of Leo and the 10th house, the midheaven, the zenith of a star map, that's like job, career, status, your efforts pay off big time, especially with Mercury being right by the moon. So if you're a Scorpio and you're lazy, it's your own damn fault if things fall apart. If you're not playing fair, then you deserve getting nothing, because this is the time that you'll see what kind of a Scorpio you are, or if you have a Scorpio rising, by how the good karma comes in on the little magic carpet and says, I see you, I got you. If you're a Sagittarius, because the South Node has come into Sagittarius and it's been on the galactic center, which is like a really neat psychic, mystical vibration, those last few degrees of Sagittarius, what's happening is there's a psychic, intuitive dream stimulus going on, but in your outer world, because the North Node is in Gemini, opposite your sign, there's some partnership burps. It's like if you're, really with a significant other, it's going to be like, why are we at such odds? Or where's their head? Or you may just need to be right if you're a Sagittarius. Don't be a right fighter. Just kind of, with everything that's going on, and Leo's favorable for you, and Mars in Aries is favorable for you, and the South Node right now, because they move backwards, is in the late degrees of Sagittarius. You December-born Sagittarians especially, you're going to discover who a true ally really is in your life or who's a false face. And so I feel like that how you react might be, bye, Felicia. Yeah, it's going to be like Sagittarius is, they often can be, as we've talked about on the show before, Joe and I, the black sheeps of the family. Mm-hmm. And Sagittarius often takes the hit of the family dynamic, like, no, I just want to take peace, or no, I'll go do it for mom, or I'll go cheer up dad. Well, right now, please keep in mind the color on the wall is called Leo, and this color right now is about, it's okay, you deserve it. You deserve the limelight. You deserve some time for yourself. You deserve the massage or the new trip or a little vacay or whatever it is that you can do for yourself. You're always doing for others. You're always doing for your work. You're always doing for your animals and your family. That Leo is saying to you, and what have you done for yourself that's rewarding? I don't care if it's just like, you just make some time in the day and say, I'm going to go take a 2-hour lunch. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab that friend that never annoys me, or hardly ever annoys me, and I'm going to take them, and I'm not going to have lunch. I'm going to have a feast. I did that today. I'm just going to go have a feast. And I told my friend I'm buying. And it was awesome. I said, get dessert. No, this is a feast. This is not just a lunch. This is a feast. And so the server was happy, and everything was just magic. And I said, we needed to feel some magic. It's the new moon. And Leo's also about generosity. So if you're a Capricorn, oh, Lord, Capricorn, I can feel it. You're just like, do not tell me any more about Pluto and Saturn and Capricorn. I'm done with it. I'm annoyed with it. I don't care where Capricorn is in my chart anymore because I've had 3 years of it. Okay. Well, Pluto's been there since 2008. Now, for you Capricorns, did you tell me to hold on?
No, I went through I've been going through exactly what you're talking about, the Capricorn thing, for about 2 years now, I think.
Oh, yeah. And Pluto went into Capricorn in 2008 when we had our first housing crisis, the whole mortgage burp and the first housing crisis. So Capricorn's strong in your chart, your moon, your rise, but your moon, it's more emotional and psychological and personal. If you've got it in your Mars or your rising, your sun sign, I see a dynamic residential or family change. It's like someone leaves, someone returns. There is some greener pastures that are calling, and it's something that you need to explore. I don't feel with you Capricorns that you don't have to get, as we say in the South, a scared of giving it your final answer. Don't get scared. Don't get scared. You don't have to give your final commitment. You just need to go get involved and get a taste of it. It might not be your favorite flavor of wine, but just go ahead and do a little taste testing of it. But there are going to be, I promise you, as we get in past the Libra season of this year and we get into Scorpio, Capricorn's going to go, oh my God, it feels so good to have that heaviness off of me. If you're an Aquarius, okay, Aquarius, as aloof and as humanity-oriented as you are, this is your time of the year when the planets are dancing in Leo that you need to pay attention to your lover, pay attention to your significant others in your life. This is not showtime and bright lights for Aquarius. Your bright lights and your rewards come from your polarity, come from Leo. So the balance sign to Aquarius is Leo. That's their seventh house. If Aquarius is the sunrise or the east, because you're the Aquarius, then the seventh house, the sunset, it's sunset time for you. It's about how can you brighten the other people that matter most to you, that have supported you, that have helped you in your work, that you take to your bed at night. This is your time to light them up. Leo's about lighting up things. So where's the light? Asking us to shine more light in our chart. So Aquarius, it's very simple. It's not about you.
Love
not your monkey. Yeah, it's about you, your key mates, your partnership platforms. You need to support them and give them applause and give them encouragements, especially August the 24th through the 27th. Pisces, okay, Pisces, it's a sixth house light up. So the spotlight of Leo, moon in Leo, sun in Leo, Mercury, it's like the light's nosy right now for you Pisces. And Pisces like to hide. They're like little closet cases. So Pisces, it's saying to you, if, not saying you do, but if you have any bad habits health-wise, they're going to now require attention. So there may need to be some alterations or changes or less of a medication or your go-to little happy pill or your go-to substance that is always your friend. It's my friend.
Back off
that
the
alcohol
Adderall.
is my friend.
Yeah.
yeah, that's my friend. So it's like, see, for Pisces, it can be like, that friend never rejects me. That friend's always there for me. I can reach for that pill. I can reach for that substance. I can reach for that. I can go do some ecstasy. I can go take my little anti-Xanax. Yeah, right. No, I'm not saying everything in balance.
How about one more?
Yeah.
Maybe one more.
So for Pisces, I'm telling you, Pisces, you've got to prioritize your own wellness. All of us, all 12 signs, get a sixth house solar transit. This is yours. So the protocols are about, are you really taking care of you or are you slipping? Are you eating too much sugar? Are you exercising too much? The addiction could go the other way. Are you so against yourself that you're working yourself out and actually hurting your meniscus or your tendons? So this is the year that you may need a new doctor. You may find a holistic specialist. You may get a really good acupressure session. But I want to say this on a positive side. The answers are coming in. If you've had a mystery condition or you can't seem to get on top of the mountain of like, why does that hurt? What is that? Why do I have all these diagnoses that aren't doing anything? Your answers are coming. They're coming. They'll come before the end of August and before the full moon of September 1st, 2nd. So and for Leo, of course, it's absolutely your time to shine. Don't worry about it. Now, Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Leo. Leo's in the spotlight. The fixed signs, Taurus is fixed earth. We've got Uranus in Taurus right now. There's a tender family memorial, anniversary, soft moment that needs to be, someone might be hurting, someone might need to adjust to. It's like, whoa, this is really happening. I'm going to need to adjust. Gee, I thought that would always stay that way forever. So anybody that's a Taurus, male or female, They're going to have to do some kind of psychological adjustment to some family, residence, domestic scenarios that are going on. And I feel like that, whenever we make a big change, especially the people we hang out with or our family, they're like, what? You're like going to take that, how long are you going to be gone? Like, even if we don't see them, it's just like, what are you going to do? You're going to go away with that person? Oh my God, you're going to move in with that person? So they have to go, people like to keep you stuck in their little snow glass, those things you shake and the little glitter and the snowball goes on that people used to have. So they like to keep you kind of chained up.
Why?
Like, okay, the dog's safe. It's chained up in the yard. That don't work for Leo. So for Taurus, they're going to have to look at the fact that where does the home dynamic need to be either more appreciated? Look at all that family member did for you, Taurus. Look at all the way that they helped you pave a way for yourself. And you know what? They're not always going to be right there by your side spiritually, yes, if it's a parent or a child, but they want you to make it on your own. And sometimes that parent or that child has to back up, whether it's the Taurus parent or the Taurus child, and realize, Leo, I've got to be responsible for my own happiness. I can't keep giving my power outside myself to other people to make me happy, like it's their job to make me happy. Yeah, well, Taurus is going to have that adjustment. Two more. Gemini. Okay, this sun, even though the sun is stronger than Mercury, the sun and the moon have Mercury. There's a triad there. There's like a triune energy taking place. So storytelling, cleaning up your act, communicating more effectively, not needing to be right, not debating or challenging someone all the time. If you're a Leo or a Gemini, both of you are in the spotlight of that. Draw other people out. And with Gemini, even though you're effective communicators and you're also great at running away from certain confrontations or like kind of sidebarring the situation, when it's your turn to like fess up, Geminis kind of find a way to run or find a way to change the conversation. So the power of your words, so speaking, teaching, learning, advising other people, meeting with the board, meeting with your superiors, yeah, Gemini can shine because Leo lights that part up for Gemini. But there's another art, Gemini. There's another lesser applauded art, and that's the art of deep listening. Taking that pause, really listening to the people in your life that love you, that matter to you. So instead of just debating them and say, well, why is that? Or what do you want to do? Or how do we solve that? Just pause. Let them express themselves. Because this new moon for all of us, for all of our signs, the sun is combust Mercury. So the sun is focused on the great messenger, the magician in the tarot. It's mercurial, and it's saying, are you being heard? Are you being an effective listener? Are you doing deep listening? Because for all of us, Mercury is being highlighted because it's in the lighter degrees of Leo as well. So maybe we're helping light somebody's heart and uplift them by really not dominating the conversation and drawing them out and listening to them. Write that one down, because that's one of the lesser, all these different astrologers that are blah, blah, blah about Leo and Mars and Aries and Eris and the asteroids and all this kind of stuff. I'm not hearing them talk about the art of listening. Astrology, when you get into evolutionary astrology and the archetypes of astrology, when the sun, the great star of our Milky Way galaxy, nuzzles up to Mercury, it's the art of listening just as much as the art of being an effective speaker. And the last one, not least, Cancer. It's in your second house, and it's all about assets, value, payoffs, and rewards. Finally, it's got to do with people saying, ooh, I want to invest in you. She knows her stuff. He does that well. So your time is going to be recognized, the value of your time, people not trying to take advantage of you or nitpicking you. And I feel like that from the dedicated work, from the dedicated years and efforts and school and test and teaching and learning and all of that, it's like that old movie, Jerry Maguire, Show Me the Money. So for Cancers, each month somebody has their second house transit, but for Cancers, and like Capricorns and Libras and Aries, the last 2.5 years have been a rough ride, and especially financially for Cancers with all that Pluto stuff going on in our January stellium, the Capricorn caravan, and then it got ignited again. with the 3 eclipses of summer. So Cancer, this is really good news for you. And if we didn't know any of the other stuff and we just knew, hey, what's in store for Cancer with Leo, guess what? Leo is the sign after yours. And the sign right after our sun sign, here's a little teaching tip, is one of your better financial cycles every year. So if you're an Aries, Taurus is one of your solar financial benefit signs because Taurus follows Aries. If you're a Scorpio, it's Sagittarius. So see, that's like the second house. It's when the money's easier and when your work is more recognized. So right now, since Cancer was last month's sign, and now it's Leo, so for Cancer, it's the power sign for them to be able to ask for the raise or say, you know what, I do most of the work around here, and I just need to be appreciated a little bit. And so this is that cycle where it's like, you know what, you're right. You're very valuable. I would not want to lose you. And thank you for all you do. I've been misstepping and not recognizing that. And here's your raise. And I want to make this happen for you. And if it's not money, somebody's going to step up and say, I really appreciate them. I'm going to make something nice happen for them. So that's it. The next warning day is going to be August the 24th. Does it have to be a bad day? I've told you about it now, so now you can keep your schedule more on focus. And all it's going to be, the complications don't have to happen, because when we get in this final week of August, the 24th to the 30th, there's the positive things in Western astrology are called trines. There's going to be 3 trines, a square and 2 oppositions. So when we have, like Uranus and Taurus is getting along with Venus and Cancer and Neptune and Pisces. So it's when we've got that Mars and Aries and that either Saturn or Pluto in Capricorn. I don't want you to be aggressive in traffic. I just don't want you to do it. I don't want you to be distracted with the cell phone. Throw it in the back seat so you can't be tempted. Don't, put it on your Bluetooth and be talking in your car too much, because everybody could be driving on the offense. Do not take risk with your safety on August the 24th. There's a lot of vitriol and street anger right now. I personally believe that the bigger part of it is the psychological pressure of being pushed back into our homes and our caves, and like, if you go out, you wear a mask, or you're going to be mask bullied, or, you don't care about other people because you're not wearing a mask. And then you put the divisiveness of this political BS that's going on in our country and all of that, and which movement's going to scream today or bust in a door. And then everything people are trying to figure out about Corona and that whole thing. So I think the pressure has hit us. And I want to say this. There's 2 words I want to leave you with this month. I try to give last month it was perspective and working with our inner child. Right now, I want you to look at the 2 dynamics, the polarities of, is there a disturbance in your force? Are your energies feeling disturbed? Or do you feel like your discernment dial is right where it needs to be? So how you keep your energies from being overly disturbed, so you're ready to fly off the handle, you get angry at yourself, you're judgmental of yourself or others, or you're just pissy. That's a disturbance in your force. Something internally and externally is beginning to build up like a pressure cooker, and it's a disturbed thing. The lid could blow off. Or are you then switch your dial over to being discerning? Okay, I'm going to discern that that's annoying me today, and instead of spending a whole lot of thought and psychology on blaming that or them, I'm going to go put my attention somewhere else. So your discernment helped you go into a pleasant pasture of energetic frequencies rather than staying and continuing to fight with or fight against. If you've been pushed back and pushed in your own cave or hole, and you feel frustrated over being restricted, then don't spend time around people that want to project their restrictions and their disturbed force fields onto you.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's the recipe. Yeah, don't do it. Don't take it on, because people, even unwittingly, unconsciously, are so frustrated and scared. When you keep the public in fear, it's not easy for them to do research. It's not easy for them to see a way out. It's not easy for them to figure out how to get out of the corner, and they get locked down. They don't want to change the relationship. They don't want to make the move because they've been pushing fear on us since January.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because remember the whole Corona, COVID-19, they started pushing it right before Christmas. And then the lockdown happened, as we all remember, in the Ides of March before we even got to the official new year of the spring equinox as I look at New Year's. So there was already a disturbance in the force that was starting at that Capricorn time, that new moon of December 28th. So that new moon finished up with our 3 eclipses that were going on in the summer. This is the first new moon that's positive and bright and not eclipsed, and Mars is happy with it. So all the stuff you're hearing on the internet about, oh God, Mars is in Aries, people are there's explosions, and
God,
Uranus is in Taurus.
Sick of that, man. They just want you to be scared and daunted all the time and that stuff. It's crazy.
Because it makes your energy force be what? Disturbed, and it starts to weaken your ability to be intuitively discerning. So I'm telling you the way out. You don't even have to, it isn't even a key because there isn't a lock anymore. If you work with your discernment, the external forces, the negativity of family or lovers cannot lock you up. You just envision that dog that's on the chain by the doghouse and it wraps around the tree and it knocks over its water. We all need to be the dog off the chain. That's what's been going on with us since they locked us down in March, and the second wave and this and that and, tearing up businesses and all. So the point right now is, okay, let's get creative. That's Leo. The spotlight's on. I mean, I've found new ways. We're like in our teenage years again. And I've found new ways to slip around the rules, And the new sexy is like, can you imagine? The new sexy is like, hey, can I pull down your mask?
Right, exactly. I know exactly what you're talking about because I had a little bit of an energy like that when COVID first hit. It was we had so many plans, and it was just like the worst. So many of my plans got ruined, really. But
push back. Yep.
Then if you just say, you know what, I'm going to do what I want to do, anyways, and you'll find ways around it. Turn into a pretty good adventure, actually.
Well, that's what what happened was the obvious. It's like, this new word they're using now, cancel culture. To me, it's like that. Those 2 C words came up after a lot of our plans, like you were talking about, to your point. A lot of the things that we had just maybe gotten a little complacent about, I'm going to plan this and I'll go to that conference and I'll set this up and I'll have speakers and I'll do that. A lot of that got canceled for people. It's just like the whole event got canceled. And even now, the kids that are thinking, oh, good, it's summer, I'm going to go back to school. I mean, they let them go back. University of Georgia, I mean, you can't blame them. All the college students started partying. One of my friends and clients is a professor at the University of Georgia, and she's like, really? And all the kids they were side by side partying. They thought they were okay because they were outside and they were partying. I thought, good for them. But now they're telling them they have to go home. They have to leave. They all have to leave and go home and do the fall semester online. They don't get to go to school anymore. So they all moved into their dorms, and now they have to go out. And I watched on the news today. Now they're telling them, can you imagine the frustration of these kids? It's like they're ready to go to college. The seniors or the new ones are ready. College, part of college is partying, but now they're shaming them and blaming them for doing that. And, there's so much going on. There's just, and that's why people are frustrated. They try to be good, respectful to themselves and other people and do the physical distancing. I refuse to say the other term they use because it's an oxymoron. Social is social, distancing is distancing. So it's physical distancing. And, and the 6 feet apart in stores and all that. I mean, I find myself when nobody's around, it's like you feel like a little teenager, like I'm going to deliberately go the wrong way. That the arrow tells me to go, I'm just going to do it. It's just like, let me see if somebody calls me out on it. It's just like, it's so stupid.
I put a GIF in the chat room of what Leo energy reminds me of, and I don't know if you've ever seen 300, where the Spartan 300 and Leonidas, who represents the archetype of Leo, the king, the leader of the 300 soldiers.
Oh, king, yeah.
And they're fighting these millions of armies, right? And they shoot all these arrows at him, right? And he said, well, we'll fight in the shade or whatever. Well, there's a scene where he stands up and he's got all these arrows in his shield and he just breaks them off. And he's like, is that all you got? Like Leo's going to
bring it.
Leo's going to do what Leo's going to do. You're not going to stop it. It's time.
Okay. But in our charts, that's a wonderful way to say it. Okay. So in our charts, I can't remember if that was Romans and Greeks or what that was in the movie 300, but in our charts, when you think about Eris, that's the female that was rejected that Mars is in conjunction with right now. So Mars and Lilith and Eris are all in those third degrees of Aries. And what's happening right now is like the woman that's been scorned, kind of like Lilith was too.
Yeah.
Lilith, got kicked in the back and Eve stepped forward, as legend goes. And then Eris, she's quite the warrior herself. But she's like, you're not going to get away with that. So maybe she has arrows too, and she goes behind the scenes. So Mars and Eris, it's like a female counterpart in this
war. Yeah, like war queen.
Yeah,
kind of. Yeah. I
so
got
let me
that
just say
vibe
this
too. For some reason,
Yep.
when I've been pulling tarot cards a lot, I've been getting the Queen of Wands a lot. Like the feminine side of this thing is really going to stand up. So
well, think about that. Think about when a woman who's been scorned or kicked to the curb or betrayed, she's got some healing to do. She's got some real healing to do. Let's not just blame the other lover or the parent or the abuser. At some point, you have to stop blaming that parent that rejected you or died, or the lover that betrayed you or cheated on you or didn't pay attention to you, and you have to take on your own stuff. And another one of the constellations right now that this Leo eclipse is hitting has to do with, what's poison for you, what's a potion, what's a good medicine or a potion, and what's a poison. So one of the worst ways we can do is you can have a whole bunch of arrows in you and say that's all you got, and then there's that poison dart. And usually the poison is something that we consume ourselves, that starts to work on us from the inside out. So as we shift from Leo to Virgo over the 22nd, in our next new moon in Virgo later on, it's time for us to look at the words that'll be on the Virgo new moon will be, is it poison or is it medicinal? Pick your poison, as they say, pick your poison.
Right.
So, that's why they say laughter is the best medicine. So we're moving into a wonderful holistic healing cycle financially and everything, because, all that Virgo stuff's going to get along with all that Capricorn stuff, and the earth element's going to get along with the Virgo and the Capricorn and the Uranus and Taurus. We're coming into a nice season to make some money, finally get that better job, finally come off of quarantine pandemic to do with Leo, more creative ways of getting the resources of the people that we want to be in communication with and the money that we want to make.
That's
so
awesome.
It's a highly creative time. I'm not buying in to all this negativity. I refuse it, because you know what, Joe? You have a thing called Lighting the Void in the Fringe.fm. So as Fringe dwellers, as lighting up the void, first we recognize the void, we look at the darkness, we look at the ravine, we look at the edge of the cliff, and then we say, yep, I'll light the dark for you. I'll put the candle, like on the Hermit, I'll light it up for you, or like the Sun card or the Strength card or the Magician. I got you, but you know what? It's Leo, so it's time for me to take care of me.
Yeah.
Time for me to take care of me. I don't need you to agree with me. I don't need to explain it to you. I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to go up in there. And if you want to find me, I'm over there. Yeah, so it's like this is that time. Don't feel guilty about doing something nice for yourself, doing something magical for yourself, summoning up the magic that you... Right now, if you're doing magic or your meditations or your prayers, setting your intentions, this is the new moon for you to pick your pleasure, set your seeds of delight, and make it okay to bloom. Because guess when this bloom cycle is? It gets really big when we get to the full moon in Leo in the Aquarius cycle of 2021. So we've started a 6-month bridge right here. Now, please don't think I'm saying it's going to take 6 months for it to bear fruit. I am not saying that. I'm saying that we have payoffs along the way, all the way into February, late January, February of 2021. So I want you to understand that astrology goes in cycles. So the blessings of Leo can be magnified when we get to the solar cycle of Aquarius, and that's that third week of January into the first 3 weeks of February. So this is like make hay, the sun's shining. We're coming into the harvest time of the year. The trees are bearing fruit. They're not just blossoms anymore. I'm already beginning to see here in Tennessee the little nuts beginning to turn green, and the squirrels are already getting all excited about the actual trees are now turning from the blossoms into the actual nut or fruit on the tree. And I'm already watching for winter signs. Being a weather mystic, I'm watching for what kind of winter it's going to be. So I'm watching the signs of nature. And Leo is the lion totem. It's the lion, the lioness. We just went through the Lion's Gate. on August the 8th. And I feel everybody kept saying, oh, well, it finished off, when we got, no, it didn't. We got a new moon in the Lion. We've got a new moon on 8/18, and it's in 8 degrees, 26 degrees adds to an 8. So we still got that infinity of the strength card, the number 8 card, and the major triumphs of the tarot. And so it's the sun, because the sun rules Leo. It's the strength card, the woman with the lion on the strength card, because it happens to be 26 degrees, which adds down to an 8. And it's combust with Mercury, and that's the magician. And so you just line those cards out of your decks out there in Tarot Land, Oracle Land. Just pull out. I put it in your Discord room, and I put it on Facebook. You pull out the Sun card, look it up, and pull out the Strength card. Oh, look that up, and combine those two, and then look at the magician. And that's the order they're going in. The Sun is in Leo, and it's next to Mercury. And so those 3 cards, there is nothing negative about that unless you have self-entitled, narcissistic intentions yourself. This is wide open shimmer. This is pure moonshine. This is moonshine of the most divine source, sacred magic available. So, stretch your stuff and get your sassy on.
Get your sassy on. I like that. Well, we're at the top of the hour, so when we come back, we're going to take your calls. The lines are already full, so when one falls, you'd call in at 1-800-588-0335. We're going to do some free readings with Mary Dusina, MaryDusina, MaryDusina.com. We'll be right back.
And you're listening to The Fringe FM.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by feet. When looking for a natural means of short-range transportation, more people use feet than any other appendage. So the next time you're in the mood for some self-locomotion, try feet. Located in close proximity to an ankle near you.
Please listen. Now is not the time to fear. When your immune system is strong, shields up. You have very little worries. If your immune system is compromised, you're susceptible to all viruses. I say shields up and no fear. Try Heart Love from GetTheTea.com. Heart Love has a special ingredient called allicin. It comes from the healing part of the garlic plant. No garlic breath. No garlic leaking out your pores, just pure immune-building ingredients that gets your shields up. Heart Love is a unique blend of herbs that loves to build you up. Google garlic and know the benefits. 1 Heart Love pill is equal to 20 cloves of garlic. 20 cloves. Shields up. You've heard of our Life Change Cleansing Tea at GetTheTea.com. Now try Heart Love. And by the way, take your blood pressure and watch weekly what happens. So here's how to purchase. Log on to GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com and build your shields. That's GetTheTea.com. Mention Ray in the coupon code and hit apply and receive free shipping.
This is Barbara Charlton from Metaphorical Archaeology. If you've ever had a traumatic paranormal experience, the effects of it may stay with you for years. Who do you talk to? You can't go to conventional help. What we do is we use emotional freedom techniques or tapping to actually neutralize the effects of that event. Maybe when you tell the story now, your heart races and your palms get sweaty. You don't even want to think about it because you don't know how to neutralize that. That's what EFT tapping does. It neutralizes those emotions. The circuit that was recorded on is gone. The energy flows freely and you're free of it. And that's what emotional freedom is all about. We offer this as a pro bono service, but this is something that I offer because no one, it seems, is helping people with these experiences. If you'd like to reach me, it's really easy. My cell phone is 214-995-3754. Please leave a message. I will get back to you as quickly as possible. Or you can email me, barb.eft@gmail.com. And EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques. Reach out to me. It's confidential. This works. You won't believe the results.
Hey, is that a new music app?
Yeah, check it out. Surfer Music Discovery. It links to thousands of online stations, but the twist is you see the song names and artists that are now playing live.
That's different. No guessing. Looks like a waterfall of music.
So many formats. Rock, oldies, country, R&B, jazz, and a whole lot more.
How's that spelled?
Surfer. S-U-R-F-R.
Is it expensive?
It's free. No need to sign up or sign in.
Get the Surfer Music app free from Google Play or the App Store.
I'm Jess Rogie. It's starting to seem like almost every week we're getting another drip towards disclosure. The U.S. Department of Defense released on its website the establishment of the Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon Task Force. The Department of the Navy will lead the UAPTF. The Department of Defense established the UAPTF to improve its understanding and to gain insight to the nature and origins of UAPs. The mission of the task force is to detect, analyze, and catalog UAPs that could potentially pose a threat to U.S. national security. Firenado may sound like a new Sci-Fi Channel movie, but it's not. For the first time in history, a fire tornado warning has been issued by the National Weather Service. A wildfire in Northern California spawned at least one fire tornado over the weekend. Large wildfires can heat air so much that huge clouds develop, and in strong winds these can rotate and sometimes produce a tornado. Can psychedelics help with mental health? New research provides preliminary evidence that psychedelic drugs can improve mental health by making individuals more accepting of distressing experiences. The study was published in Frontiers in Psychiatry and adds to a growing body of research that shows using psychedelics can result in sustained improvements in depressive symptoms. Study author Richard Zeifman stated, "Our findings suggest that one of the reasons that psychedelic therapy has positive therapeutic effects is that it helps individuals to be less avoidant and more accepting of their emotions, thoughts, and memories, even though such experiences may be distressing in the short term." The study included psilocybin, LSD, and ayahuasca. Annabelle, the famous haunted doll, has not escaped. The report stemmed from the Wikipedia entry, which had been updated stating that the Raggedy Ann doll had escaped on August 14th at 3 a.m. from the Warrens Occult Museum. The report is false. Tony Spera, the son-in-law of the famous paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, took to YouTube on Friday to address the rumors that the infamous doll escaped.
Annabelle did not escape. Annabelle's alive. Well, I shouldn't say alive. Annabelle's here in all her infamous glory. She never left the museum.
This is the Rogie Report News on the Fringe FM. I'm Jess.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by gravity. When wanting to walk around on the side of our planet without inconveniently being flung to the far reaches of the solar system, more people choose gravity than any other force in the universe. So remember, when something has got you down, it's probably gravity. Clean, dependable, low maintenance gravity.
Message is being broadcast by the Department of Defense of the Republic. At 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, multiple unidentified objects were confirmed to have entered Earth's atmosphere.
Discovery Houston, 20 seconds to LOS speed rescue.
The first message that comes to you is you are a divine being. You matter. You count. You come from realms of unimaginable power and light, and you will return to those realms.
The vast stretches of the unknown and the unanswered and the unfinished still far outstrip our collective comprehension.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting from Forest Tower Studios, all the way from the Deep South. Now, here is your host, Joe Root.
All right, welcome back. We're back. Cosmic Conditions. Second hour means you can call in and get your reading from Mary Dusina. It's a special time. Usually the phone lines are full, and they are full right now. So as soon as you hear somebody hang up, you better be dialing. I feel sorry for whoever that was waiting forever, and your call dropped. If I see you, I'll get you ahead in the game. I promise. That's gotta be discouraging, because some people, Mary, they call in here and they're waiting. Mm-hmm. They'll call before the show starts, and then just so they can get just so they can get on here, like be one of the first callers when the second hour starts, and then I bet their phone died or something. I feel so bad for them.
Well, that happened in Florida too. When I was doing the Saturday night 2-hour show, the producer would go, "Oh my God, you're on 8 to 10. They're calling at 7," and I'm like, "Well."
Yeah, I do shows on Tuesdays sometimes when people call in. Yeah, I'd like to speak to Mary. I'm like, you're kidding, right? So anyways, the call-in number is 1-800-588-0335. We're going to start taking these phone calls and get these suckers going here. So we got the first one is 504 area code. You're on the air. Who are we speaking with?
Hey, Joe. Hey, Mary. It's Dre. Eyes open from the Discord chat.
Cool. You want a card from Mary? You got a question for Mary?
Yeah, I would love a card. I'd like to know about, just kind of life in general. It's been like a roller coaster ride since April 5th. Everything's been kind of up in the air, and then the Lionsgate kind of like blew open something that I've been having synchronicities just firing at me all the time.
Nice.
I kind of want to know where things are going, or if this roller coaster ride is going to stop anytime soon, or even out to like maybe a merry-go-round or something like that.
It's interesting that you used the term that we were talking about in the first hour. Things have really been firing off. It is definitely a fire energy right now. Well, the past card I got for you was the Knight of Swords, and in this deck there's a fiery tower. Like the tower card is kind of represented kind of sort of in the tarot in this one, and it's like he's the sentinel. He's making sure that the battle is over, and he's like the watchtower. He's watching the tower literally as other people go in to rescue people, or he's conquered the tower, or whatever. So it seems to me that something that was hanging, that left you hanging, all of a sudden erupted in a sense. And it's like, oh, wow, I went from, I don't know, I'm not sure, to holy cow. And then you have the Ace of Wands, which is the fire element. The way I'm not saying I'm the only one that does them right, but for me, the rods or the wands are the fire element. And you got the ace. So this is all about you pushing past your insecurities and embracing some new opportunities. So it's like, we complain about what's too predictable or getting sedentary or sometimes too familiar. We're bored, and then all of a sudden, the electricity of changes start to happen. We're going, oh, I don't know, which way do they go? I don't know if I want to. Can I handle this? Do I have enough money? Can I? Do they really love me? And we start all that stuff. We start all the, like the back and forth. So the ace is always about a dynamic beginning. So my answer to you is, yes, the roller coaster will stop because you're moving on to a whole new ride. It's not the roller coaster at all anymore. So now you're like not in the circus. So you see the shift? There's lots of rides in the circus, or at the fair, there's like the livestock and everything you can go see, and there's the candy corn, or whatever they call the cotton candy, and there's all kinds of different things that people, hot dogs, they think about at the fair, and then there's like, oh, I'm leaving the circus now. So you're not just getting off the roller coaster, you're leaving the circus. So this is more in your hands than you realize, right? You're shifting into being a director. You're not the victim of circumstance anymore.
So no more like whims of fate will just be bouncing me around as they wish.
No.
I'll actually have a little control over things.
But in this new moon, remember what we teach you about the new moon. You need to take the initiative. This is a fire sign. You have to step up and take the initiative. So whether you burn, like get little pieces of paper and write down what you don't want anymore and your fears and do a little burning ceremony. Yeah.
Index
fire.
Cards.
Candles.
I love that. Okay.
Yeah, candles, sage, incense, fire. Do your safety protocols.
Okay.
But go ahead and write down the things that scare the crap out of you and just burn it and say, I'm done with that. I let you go. I rebuke that. And then the positive side of fire is I'm going to summon my faith. That's a fuel. and I'm going to drive forward. I'm not going to be on anybody else's roller coaster, but will that require some discipline out of you? Yeah. You can't get pulled into other people's fiery dramas.
Yeah, Dre,
You
I
have
did
to
that
be
the
able to
other
say
night
no. Okay.
too. Like facing the eastern sky, Mars was like in the sky. You could see it with the naked eye. And I wrote down all this stuff like, I'm not doing this anymore. I don't want this anymore. Just index cards.
Right.
I'm not dealing with this anymore. Like this, you know what you want by knowing what you don't want too, right? And set it on fire. And then made sure the emotions got involved in the visualizations too. And just kind of had a conversation with Mars about it. So I think that's going to work.
Well, that's the perfect thing to do. And remember, stars, Dre, are the fire of the sky, the fire of the heavens. You know, we had Comet Neowise. We've had all kinds of comets coming in this year, and Comet Neowise began in Aries. They started talking about it on March 27th. So the stars have a different kind of healing modality. When you get outside under the stars, I vividly remember doing what Joe was talking about in 2003. There was a tree that I had that was a witch tree, and my brother was deemed terminal. It was a really intense emotional time then. And like Saturn was in Cancer. I was like, holy moly, like the dark night of the soul type of thing. And I would walk under the stars, and I had my little bowl of water, and I did exactly what Joe was talking about. And I literally did that discipline and those boots on the ground of doing a little fire ritual ceremony and letting it go and watching it actually burn. There's something to be said for you to do the conscious viewing of watching those things that scare you and hurt you and bother you be burned away by your own hand. By your own hand. That's the magician. That's the high priestess. You're doing it yourself. You're sovereign.
That sounds perfect, because I used to go to the lake and do burns all the time, but with this COVID nonsense, they shut down the Lakeshore Avenue, so I couldn't get to the lake for months to go sit out there and just be by myself with my thoughts in the fire and just kind of meditating on whatever I had planned at that moment. But it's just opened up again, so that's perfect. I'll go tonight.
There's your confirmation, honey.
Awesome.
There's your confirmation.
Thank you.
There's your celestial confirmation. The roller coaster's over with. Leave the circus.
Thank you for your call. Thanks for your call. Good advice. All right, let's move on to the next one here. Let's see. 905 area code. You're on the air with Mary Dusina. Who are we speaking with?
This is Kaz from Canada. Hello, Miss Dusina and Joe.
Kaz from Canada. You want Mary to pull a card for you?
Yeah, Kaz. Yeah, but sorry, go ahead.
Do you want Mary to pull a card for you, or you just got a general question, or what?
I have a question, actually. 9 years ago, last Friday, was the last shift I had as a firefighter in my city. And then I went to the hospital the next day, and not long after that, and I feel it might have been around this time, I had a near-death experience while I was in a coma. And I was just wondering if you could elaborate on that for me.
Wow, that's so powerful. Wow, that I went right into that. Didn't you, Joe? I went right into the feeling of that story with him. Wow, you expressed that so well. Let me ask my guides real quick. Bear with me for 1 second. I know it's broadcast. Okay, I feel a very strong masculine, like overseer or spirit guide. I feel like that what I'm seeing is it's just like it's a strong male, like almost like, I know shaman's an overused word, or medicine man or something, but there's like a spirit doctor, a medicine man, a guide from other times that was so with you at that time. And I feel like you literally may have had a walk-in experience, because I feel like that in the deep rest of the coma, I'm going to take a little brief repose from the earth. When you went into that, okay, I'm not playing right now on the earth games. I got somewhere I got to go, and I got to get some higher guide, some medicine and some instruction, and I'm going to decide if I want to leave or stay. I really see that it was about, do I want to leave right now or do I want to stay? And I feel like that there were some encodings, and there were some like off-planet, otherworldly, for lack of a better word, healing seeds, star seeds, encodements, upgrades to your programming. And I feel like it's interesting you said that it was maybe around this time of year. 9 years ago, because 9 years is a full numerology cycle. So you got like encoded then to embrace what's coming up now. And I keep hearing October of this year. Can you what's the first statement that comes to your mind about 9 years ago? Like, let's say it was around this time of the year. Was there anything that stood out for you in October 9 years ago, like sometime in that, like getting into fall, autumn, which I know happens early in Canada? Or anything significant about October?
I woke up from that coma paralyzed from the neck down. And I really feel that I during that time I was negotiating with the divine creator, and I am so grateful to Spirit for allowing me to rely on different senses to be able to navigate through the concrete jungle, wonderful as it is in the city I am, relying on different senses. Taking medications from doctors for about 3 years, it took my vision, and I'm right now. I've been feeling manifestations accelerating in my life, and I feel that I'm on the cusp of many manifestations, and
you are.
Sight is just one of them, but go ahead.
You got the High Priestess. So what's shifting for you, and she holds the scroll, and I know Joe's got something to say about that. I can feel it from his heart. She holds the scroll that she knows what's on it, but the others can't see it. But she holds the actual code. She holds the actual, if you will, sacred recipe or the elixir. And I feel like, and usually the High Priestess is associated with the sign of Pisces. Neptune is in Pisces right now, and Neptune is like snap your fingers, even in the Bible where it says, and in the twinkling of an eye, everything was restored. In the twinkling of an eye, it was changed. And so I feel like I keep hearing that with you, like stars twinkle, and in the twinkling of an eye, it's supposed to be like boom. And you may write a book, you may dictate a book. There's something about your story that's just cascading upward. I mean, you're on an uprise now. You're not on a descending. You're in a crescendo.
Yeah.
You're right. You're in a crescendo, and you feel it. You know it. It's a knowing with you.
Yeah, that knowing that you got is definitely that card. That card is the veil and your intuition. Deep down, the subconscious is the doorway to the spirit world that's talking to you right now, that's telling you your soul mission. Anytime you pull that card, it's a key to your soul mission. And if it's was it upright, Mary? It was upright.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
If it's upright, then you're right on it. So whatever you're feeling, whatever epiphanies you have or whatever callings come your way, I would definitely listen to them, because that's the thin doorway to the veil, that card right there.
Well, and the other thing,
the
King Canada.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
No, I don't want to interrupt you. Go ahead, Ms. Dusina, please.
The other thing that I hear, I'm calling him King Canada because we're in the time of kings. The other thing, so KC, King Canada. The other thing I feel is like somehow I keep feeling it.
Thank you, Queen U.S.
Queen U.S., right.
I feel like that's nice. Thank you. I'll take it. One of the things we already called Joe Captain Joe Aries. One of the things I feel with you, somehow I feel like that if you can just all of our cell phones and laptops have a built-in free recorder. If you can just start recording some of these waves of insight and the veil that's being revealed to you, if you can just start, either dictating that to someone or recording little vignettes or snippets of this, I keep seeing this coming together as a film, as a book, as a script, like this is going to be something. And you got to call Joe and I back. This is a work in progress. And it's so interesting that you were a firefighter and you're coming on the show at the most powerful time of the fire planets. I mean, the South Node in Sagittarius, and Mars is home. It's not just in a fire sign, it's in its fire sign. It's not been there for 2.5 years, and it's doing normally Mars stays in a sign about a month. It's going to be in there because of retrogrades. all the way into January, first retrograde coming up in the first week of September, just after the full moon. Again, a significant time for you. And I feel like either in your inner visions, your meditations, the dream experiences that you have, if the sight was interfered with for a while, the outer sight, it's just because your inner visions are taken off.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, let us know, please. Call back and just keep us updated as to what's going on with you, if you don't mind.
KC.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I will.
Cool.
My parents and I, starting today, actually, my parents and I are going to be receiving scalar energy broadcasted to us 24/7.
I love that.
And
I love that.
I love your show, Joe. I love I love you, Miss Dusina, and I'm looking forward to calling in. Take care.
You know what the most powerful medicine that piqued me, probably got Joe too, because he and I are very similar on this. When you said with such verve, "I'm so grateful."
Right.
Do you know how powerful of a medicine that is, that you went through the coma, you went as a firefighter, you were out serving and saving people, and you're like, "I'm so grateful in this concrete jungle that I've been able to navigate my other senses." I mean, glory. Wait a minute. Time to put my hand up, just like a great black woman does. Glory.
Yeah, you got to.
Glory's in the house.
Yeah.
Take that glory. You take that glory and you run with it, and you are going to be on my meditation prayer list all through this new moon. You.
Thanks for calling.
Well,
Thanks for calling, brother.
Thank you very much. Have a great night, guys.
You too. You too. I can't wait for him to call back. Yeah.
I love that call.
Yeah, me too. Man, are y'all hearing the phone ring? Just curious. Because it sounds so loud in my ear. I'm just curious. I guess you're not hearing it. That's good. All right, so...
yeah, I don't.
All right, so 970 area code. You're on the air with Mary Dusina. Who are you speaking with?
Hi, my name's Marley. I've been listening to you guys for a little over a year, but I've never called in before.
First time caller.
Oh, thank you.
I live in Southwest Colorado, a little spot on the map.
All right, Marley. Do you want Mary to pull a card for you?
Are you safe?
I was thinking about asking a question based off the last caller, but I'm still on the fence. Maybe just pull a card.
Okay. What was you going to ask her, Mary?
Okay, I was going to make sure she was okay from the fire.
Kind of ironic, but...
Yeah, that's a good question. Are you okay from the fires that happened?
I'm really close to the Pine Gulch, but it's not threatening. But I definitely have a lot of smoke in the area and everything. Yeah.
Were you able to hear in the first part of the show how we're calling all the Lighting the Void and the Fringe family to send our meditative energies to, just like when we had in January the fires in Australia and everybody meditated and it got solved? Believe me, I'm on it with you. I'm on it with you and all of your, all the West. The West is a wonderful part of the United States, and of course the explosions. We have to, as light workers, when we hear about explosions and fires, just because it's not happening right at our front door, we still need to be citizens of the earth and do our light work and do our meditative prayer work. I got the moon for you. So the moon is telling me that your emotions and your feelings are wanting audience with you. Yeah. Now, it is a new moon, which is interesting that you got the moon card. In most tarot decks, Marley, the moon is shown as the full moon. So just to stay with tradition, the next full moon is going to be kind of happening in this country, what we call Labor Day, over the 1st and 2nd of September. I love me some Pisces full moon. It is, if you can get into music, if you can do something to enhance your musical experience or frequencies of sound, now at the new moon, up until then, it'll help manifest what you want because we're shifting into that Virgo Pisces axis. But the full moon tells me that, well, let me ask you this real quick. Do you feel like you've been paying homage to your feelings and your intuition, or have you been kind of pushing back on them and avoiding them?
I would say that I'm very, very aware of them. I'm just learning how to physically apply what I'm aware of.
That's how you physically.
Yeah.
I'm not. I didn't mean to jump at you, but I'm telling you, this is my life story with emotions. I'm telling you, there's a video that Frederick Xavier did where he talks about this the ebb and flow of emotion. You cannot let it back up. You cannot let your emotions back up. Now, if you have an issue with being emotional in front of people, that's one thing. A lot of people, that's fine. But let them out. I don't care how bad it hurts.
I pretty much wear my heart on my sleeve.
There you go. So if you wear your heart on your sleeve, then you're good. I mean, like, people are afraid to, when they're hurt, they're afraid to cry. When they're angry, they're afraid to yell. And that stuff backs up in you, and it's bad for your spirit.
It does. Yeah,
magically,
not a bottler.
too. Yeah, there you go. Good.
Well, I feel like for some reason Spirit wants me to finish this call with telling you there's some kind of signature energy with your mother, the story of your mother, the plus and minuses of your mother. Like, a lot of people didn't get to know their bio mother, or she was in their life briefly, or it was intrusive. But there's something about the mother and the story of what your mother's childhood story was that I feel like that helps you understand how to get unchained.
Okay.
I want you to. That's your homework.
Thanks for calling, Marley.
You don't have to say. You don't have to say what it is. That's private. It's real personal, and I feel like it's real intimate. It's got to do with your intimate, sensual life. So just take that little recipe there and work it.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Thanks for your call.
Yeah, thank you guys.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Marley. Thank you for calling us.
All right, so we got
Absolutely. Have a good night.
You too. Yeah, I think you probably tapped on something there, Mary. That was well, that's okay. Like, you've done it with me on the air plenty of times, so it's not easy. Like, I don't know. It does kind of freak you out when a psychic actually taps on something and you're like, damn, I do got to deal with that, right? So,
remember what I told you last year when I first started doing tarot.
Yeah.
When I got into it when I was 14, I would not ever read for somebody until I started hitting my triggers, until I started tapping, as you say, into, hi Barbara, tapping, metaphorical archaeology. Leo, until I could hit my hot buttons and not be so subjective and find my way through that jungle of not wanting to confront it or denial or anger or whatever, and like you said, not to let our emotions back up.
Yeah,
like Frater was saying. No, it becomes a too full septic tank is what it is.
Yeah, you can't. And then, I'll do a show on that sometime later. I'm pretty sure that's an easy concept to understand, I hope, for most.
Yep. People need it, Joe. You've got to do something like that every once in a while. We need that, especially in a water sign. You should do a show like that when we're having a new moon in a water sign, especially when things are backing up, maybe even in a Scorpio time. In the month of Scorpio, choose to do a show on that.
Well, I'm going to tell you something.
Scorpio rules.
Pulling moon cards and mother stuff, I understand that totally, 100%. It ain't easy to deal with. But the only way to deal with that stuff, no matter how bad it hurts, is to feel it. And I mean feel it. So it's
like you, I had the strong mama, grandmother icon, and there was stuff to work out with the mother. So I get it. I totally get it. I mean, it's synchronistic. We draw our tribe, and the more we get to know people and trust people, you'll go, oh, you too.
Yeah, and then
you had that one too, and then we embrace and we become enforcers for each other's light that way.
These are the kinds of things that if you don't deal with, you're going to take it out on the people that you love the most, and it will haunt you until you deal with it. So, we need to move on here. Let's see, 586 area code. You're on the air with Mary Dusina. Who are you speaking with?
This is James Salcedo.
Hey, what's up, James?
Not much.
What a great name. I like that last name.
James is cool. You want Mary to pull a card, or do you got just a question for her?
Well, card is good. This is my second time calling for one of these shows.
Okay.
I called for the last show. So yeah, just the card is fine.
I feel like that you've come back from some kind of psychological voyage, like you're on the bounce back or the comeback after something was a little unsettling, and you've got some strong decisions to make now because of where you went, what you learned, what was taken, what was gained. Ultimately, Spirit's telling me with the card of the young adventurer on the Fool card stepping off the edge of the cliff here with the white rose and the white dog, which dog is always loyal companion to thine own self be true. I feel like that you're an overcomer, and I feel like that whatever you went through just since did you call the last show or the show before that, did you say?
The last show, yeah. It was near the end of the show that I called, but yeah, it was the last show.
Okay, I feel like so much is like, in that short of time, in that 4-week time, it feels like so much is like roared up around you to process and deal with, and some truths that may have come to light, and some realizations, I guess, and ultimately even shocking things that we realize or go through or lose or have to let go of in one sense or another to kind of initiate change. I feel like what happens, and sometimes it's all internal, what happens is you're like, wow, I did not know that about myself. This is ultimately cool. This is ultimately invigorating, but wow. I mean, things, things can happen so quickly in our life. And I just feel like something got transformed within you, regardless of the external circumstances. So you've really done something to where you've let yourself get unstuck.
What did you do? Did you finally get out of body? Did you get out of body? We've been working together on getting out of body in the Patreon group.
Oh,
yeah, I have not yet, but what's really funny is after the last time I called, that call really helped me a lot to move on, and and then what's funny about the new Ella, I can't thank Joe enough for welcoming me last Friday onto the show just for a while there, and
yeah, brother, we hung out after the show and talked, and
yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a cool kid.
You can't put a price on that kind of genuine support. You cannot put a price on that. People in our life that show up in these transition points in our life of consciousness, I have a term for them that I invented. Spirit gave it to me. I don't claim the creativity of it, but I call it the immortal effect. And no matter how long these people touch our life, it could be a short touch, but yet we're forever changed because of how they were there when we needed that to be there, that our life is uplifted and forever changed, that like they become a reference point for the rest of our days in this earth walk, and that one thing that they did, that one thing that they said, the one thing that they were present with us for ends up being like an exclamation point that's always medicine for us, and for you to acknowledge that with Joe, I just think that's awesome. Good for you. That's a manly man.
Well, we ain't seen the last
manly
of
man.
James. That's for sure.
I was gonna say I was really last time I called, you mentioned something about this fall, and not that I'm trying to self promote because it's not really out yet, but I plan on releasing a podcast this fall.
That's right.
And
nice.
And I know. It's a true ghost story kind of thing. I'm big into
He's
that.
a writer, but he has books out already.
Yeah.
So he's just really humble. This is all it is, for sure.
Well, thank you for giving him the just deserved applause, Joe. That's very good in Leo too. You know what? Blessings and success under this new moon. Since you're doing like podcast and film and writing and all that, and this is in your genre, your type of ceremony and ritual would be to write it down and pour water over it. Because your fire of your desire, that is your fire, your intentions and all, and pour water over it and then bury it in the earth as we go into Virgo, August the 22nd, because then it goes back to Mama's earth and her little bugs and her like little, geodes and everything. I mean, that little neotodes and all, break it all down, and you actually have fed Mother Earth's soil, and so then your ideas have gone to merge with the earth forever, and like you water it and then put some dirt over the paper and all that. It's really cool to do that because it just becomes nutrients, and then of course she takes it, she knows right what to do with it, which bugs get it, which birds get it for the nest or whatever, and it becomes merged with Mama.
Wow. Well,
that's interesting.
We'll stay in touch, man.
But
thanks for your call.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for everything.
All right, take
Blessings
care,
on your show. Make sure you bless your fall show. Make sure you bless that under this new moon. Cast forth the energy ahead. Like the Leo shine is going on to your projects.
He's got like 4 books on Amazon, and if you just look up at James Salcedo, you can go check out his books too. So we've got 2479 area codes here. So I'm gonna take. Looks like 479, but ends with 02. Who are we speaking with? On line 1 here.
Hey. Hey, Joe and Mary. It's Stacy, your sister from the East.
Hey, Stacy.
Hi. Hey, I'm
one of the stars.
I haven't talked to y'all in a really
Sisters.
long time.
Yeah, it's been a
I
minute.
know.
Yeah. I haven't called in a while.
You didn't get a scared,
Life's
did you?
been weird.
You didn't get a scared, did you?
No. No, definitely not scared.
I know
it's
you're
good to
not.
talk to
You're very.
y'all. How are you?
Good, good. Do you have an updated question for Mary, or do you just want her to pull you a general card for you?
Yeah, so I guess I'm just going through a really big transition right now, and I have a big decision to make, and I just wanted some insight from you, Mary, on, what I need to consider and just to kind of help with this big decision.
I see a big yes. I see a very big yes, and the card that I pulled is water. It's the cups, so it's what are you wanting to take communion with? What actually would quench your thirst creatively, Leo, creatively. And it's the 8 of Cups, which means that you're going to the secret garden and you're really looking with gratitude at what you already have manifested and how well that served you. But then when it's the crescent moon, it's the sliver moon, and the cloaked figure has the cups stacked in such a way that there's 5 on the bottom row of the gold cups in this deck, and then there's 3 kind of balanced precariously on top, but they're okay. And there's like a couple of gaps, like they want to fill in the gaps of the cups, like they're aiming for the 10 of cups. You're at the 8 and they're aiming for the 10, which is like full manifested project and joy and all that. So it feels to me, now it may be 8 weeks, it may have to do with, I would look at the number 8 days, 8 weeks, a person with a birth date that might be.
It's interesting with Lionsgate.
No.
It's interesting with
true.
Lionsgate.
8, yeah. And look at look at what the date is today. There's an 8 involved in today. There's a 1 of beginnings, and there's right now I guess we're on the 19th, but the show, the new moon, yeah. But I feel like with you that it's like you have the red cape on. You're the one that's the Red Riding Hood going out, but you have skill sets with nature that the wolf wouldn't have to trick you. It wouldn't have to go attack a family member and try to hide in grandma, type of a thing. Like Little Red Riding Hood doesn't have to go get, grandma back out of the wolf's mouth. I feel like that the wolf in your case is a medicine totem, and I feel like it's got to do with the teachers in your life. It's all consolidated with you now, and it's something to do with teaching. And the wolf is not a bad wolf. The wolf is not like the evil wolf. It has to do with somehow what you've been taught is something that you want to teach, and you're going to kind of take the ball and run with it.
You know what's so trippy about what you just said is I saw a young, I think she was, it was her birthday today. This girl's 14 years old, 13 or 14 years old, drew a painting, like one of her first oil paintings. And it had a woman walking through trees with a red cape on. You could just see the back of the cape. And you had red roses over the top of the cape, and a wolf above that, and a red moon. That's crazy.
What?
Yeah.
Well, now we have blood moons coming up. Don't the blood moons come every 4 years?
That's
Did we have
right.
blood moons in 2014?
And I'm telling you, it's this girl's birthday, and this is one of her first. It's amazing. There's a lot of creativity coming out of these children nowadays too. I'm telling you, man, it's insane.
Old souls.
It was a beautiful painting.
Well, that's synchronistic for you and for Stacy for you to tell that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
how do you feel? Do you feel you're the wolf, Stacy? Which archetype are you? Are you the wolf? Are you the adventurer with the red cape on?
I'm probably the adventurer, actually, but maybe I need to embrace the wolf as well.
I would.
I could get wolfy.
If you're a little bit,
I'm a Pisces, so that's not really my nature. But
and what card was it? The 8 of what? Cups.
8 of Cups, Joe.
Which is interesting because that's the third. It's the third time this year I've gotten a reading from somebody else, and I've gotten the 8 of Cups.
What intellectually stimulates you that also plays on your emotions too? Think about that. Think about something that intellectually and emotionally stimulates you both. Because that corresponds to a heart on the tree of life, and the tarot corresponds on the tree. The numbers represent the Sephiroth. That's 8. 8 is splendor. It's Mercury, Hermes. So.
Okay. Which is one of the tarot cards, the Magician, for this month. It's the Sun, the 8th card, Strength, and then the Magician, because of Mercury being combust with the Sun right now. So all of this is orbiting around you with what Joe's saying, the Magician. And, the Magician in most tarot decks is robed in white with a red cape.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
So the male archetype to this, and in the Strength card, she is robed in white like the Magician, and she has red roses, speaking to Joe's vision again, she has red roses encircling her waist as she deals with the red lion.
Wow.
In most tarot decks, in most traditional tarot decks, that's the number 8 card, Strength. The Magician is number 1, and then the Sun card, the Sun rules the sign of Leo, is card number 19. And we're talking literally on August 19th now in my time zone.
There you go.
And Joe's too.
I nailed it on that one, so. All right.
Yeah.
Okay,
we got to move on to take all
even
that
though
in.
you're Pisces, I want you to start looking up the totem, medicine totem, the wolf. I want you to work with the wolf, because what I'm seeing with you is the wolf is your loyal protector, and it's like an earth ally for you. I don't feel anything negative about the wolf with you.
Yeah, there you go. So thank you, Stacy, for calling in. It's good to hear from you again. It's always good to hear from a fellow Arkansan. Speaking of which, we have another one, 479 area code on line 2. Who are we speaking with?
Hey, guys. This is Katrina. How are you?
What's up, Katrina? How are you doing?
Do I remember Katrina Virgo? Do I remember that, honey?
Yeah, this is what did you call her? The fairy?
Yes,
fairy queen or something? I forgot what you call
She
her.
is. She and Lisa Allen are the Fae queens. They're the Fae
okay.
energy. They have the FEY. They have that whole Gaelic Celtic. Now Katrina could be like Tinkerbell. Remember, Katrina can be like, she can be a little spritey, mischievous if she wants to.
The bartending, the bartending Tinkerbell for sure.
Yeah.
So
she's laughing because she knows she wears it well.
Yeah. Do you want Mary to pull a card, or do you have a general question for her?
No, I'm just in a really great place in my life, and
awesome.
I'm super happy, and I just wanted to call and ask if you would pull a card for me, because you guys are part of my happy place.
Oh,
how nice. Yay, thank you. Yay. We accept. You got the Virgo card. Ready for this? You got number 9, the Hermit, major triumph. You got the Hermit, and even Led Zeppelin, an old group, did a whole album a whole selection of songs called Houses of the Holy. And there's an 8-point, in this deck, Joe, there's an 8-pointed star in a lantern for this brown-cloaked sage, seer, holding with his walking stick. He now has the Saturnian look of the wisdom of age. He's not old, but he's older. And he's holding up the lantern with this 8-pointed star, Merkaba, a spirit light body, and he's holding that up to light the way for others. So I interpret this as answers, like part of the reason you're happy. And it's interesting that you're happy and you're a Virgo, because Leo is the 12th house for Virgo. So the fact that you're happy in your most tender time, psychologically and spiritually, it's like, at the beginning of the show, I talked about Virgos needed to look in the mirror and say, am I being too hard on myself? Am I being too critical of myself or others? And the fact that that's the tender time of the year, not a bad time of the year, and you're happy and you're in a happy place, you've done a tremendous amount of work on your inner self and your own darkness or demons, angels versus demons and all, since 2014.
Yeah. Think about Venus too, right? That 8-pointed star is the star of Ishtar or of Iana.
Yep.
And Iana is the direct polar opposite alongside the lion associated with the planet Venus. So there's that.
And Venus right now, she's in the sign of the moon. She's in Cancer. So when you think about starlight, moonshine, moon shimmer, the new moon shimmers and radiations, this is a really good time for you, Katrina, to My one friend, he loved pot, my one friend in school, and he'd go, I'm going to go out and get a moon tan. And that was his code for he was going to go out. He was so funny. He was a Virgo, and I'd go, James, and he goes, I'm going to go get a moon tan. And that was his code for he was just going to go out and have some herb and have a good time. But he always wanted to be out under the stars at night. And he goes, you could meet me under the Mon-Fri, and we can get a moon tan. It
sounds
was
like
so
my kind
funny.
of guy.
I love James. Yeah. Hi, James, wherever you are. So, yeah, and he rolled the best ones, buddy. What I feel with you is I feel like there's, and maybe there is something about herbs and holistic, really, truly in a medicinal way. There may be that you have a discovery about a certain supplement or a certain plant or herb, like plant medicine. When plants are meant to come in your life, whether they're in capsule form or you're just walking through a big box store and all of a sudden a plant or a flower talks to you, especially an herb. It's like when you go around crystals and all of a sudden you're like, oh, that stone's talking to me. That crystal, it's vibrating, and I need to take that one home with me. That's my new crystal. Like Virgo's often with tiger's eye, especially at the Leo new moon. So there's something about an herb that's going to be kind of saying, you need to get to know me. You need to be around me. I remember like when rosemary first grabbed me like that. I mean, I always liked the smell of rosemary. Didn't really plant it, didn't really grow it. But then one year it was just like, I am rosemary and I'm coming into your life. I'm like, okay. So, I mean, I looked it up. I studied it. I cook with it all the time now. You know, I know how to dry it and, you know, put it as an essential oil under my pillow when I want to enhance my dreams, to remember my dreams. You just put a sprig of rosemary underneath where your pillow on the bottom part of your pillowcase is. It's kind of a Halloween witchy thing. You just put that sprig of that rosemary in there, and oh my God, it smells so good. Bugs don't like it, and you'll remember your dreams. Rosemary is wonderful for that. So it's like that. All of a sudden, it'll be like a head turner with some kind of, and some have flowers, you know, like lavender blooms, flowers, purple flowers. So it's going to be a plant, an herb, and it also, like the whole color spectrum of it. You know, like rosemary and lavender look similar with their splines, their leaves, but they're two totally different things. Where rosemary will stimulate memory and cognitive brain function. Lavender's like, go night, night now, poppies, you know, so it'll take you into another zone. So I feel like there's going to be, it's very strong with you. There's going to be a plant, like the last caller had the wolf as a medicine totem. You've got a plant that wants to be a plant totem with you. Has there been any of them that have called your attention lately?
Oh boy.
I just found a nightshade growing wild on my back porch yesterday.
I love that.
Like right.
Oh, that's magical.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's so magical.
I'd never
Listen,
seen it before.
as an herbal girl.
Yes.
As an herbal girl, I can tell you, Katrina, I remember having that Scorpio grin when I was studying with herbalists on plants, and we went out in the woods, and the one Leo guy's like, Mary, you're just a little too interested in the plants that can poison people. And I'm like, I like hemlock. He goes, I know, but I notice your eyes light up when we're talking about things that can take people out. And I'm like, well, you know, okay, you might need that someday. And he said, oh my God. You know, so it's nice to know your nightshades and your hemlocks, and yeah, it's nice to know those things as a prepper. They have their medicine too.
And it's not something that right, exactly. And it volunteered itself. So now I need to learn about it. So, yep.
Well,
yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Thank you for calling. I hate to rush you off the phone, but we're running out of time here. We got a few more
Thanks,
callers.
Katrina.
So.
Blessings, honey. Happy new moon. Happy new moon.
Thanks for calling.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Her voice is so melodic.
Yeah.
She's so happy.
Oh man, I don't know if whoever's calling in is going to get theirs, but let's try to get as many as we can. Okay, 708
Okay.
area code. You're on the air with Mary Dusina. Who are we speaking with?
Hey, this is Malorcas 45 calling.
What's up, Malorcas, my man? You wanted to pull a card, or you got a question?
Yeah, just pull a card.
9 of Cups, which to me is the wish card. When it comes upright, a wish will be granted, just like the blue genie in the lamp that you rub. So there's a big yes in front of you. I'm going to give you the warning of the magician card with it, though. Be careful of what thou ask for. Thou may get it.
Yeah, you can get wish fulfillment. It's going to happen, whatever it is.
So this is a big yes. This is like ask for what you want in your meditations, in your magic, in your ceremonies, in your if you're doing a walking meditation, whisper it out to the universe, because the clouds and the sky will take your breath and help it come about. So what you want is available. It's a big yes.
Be specific.
Okay.
Thanks for your call, brother. That was perfect.
Yeah,
That's a perfect one. Thanks, Malorcas.
Thank you.
Yeah, so let's do this other 708 area code. You're on the air with Mary Dusina. Who are you speaking with?
Hey, this is Dan in Colorado.
Dan in Colorado, my brother from the Cosmic Keys. What's on your mind, man?
Hey, shout out to Malorcas. He has the same area code as me, and we've chatted. But I wanted to get a card pull about a new job that I expect I'm going to be getting.
Is it a music gig?
It's a yes. It's a yes, Dan, because you got the Knight of Rods.
Yeah. That's a yes. Are you going out for Yeah, well, I've been listening to your show, and I heard you talking about when Scarlett pulled a card, and you it was like 3 of Wands or something, and she was telling people to do gigs, and you got a gig, like a music gig. Is that what this is about?
Well, no, I've been doing music gigs and getting some money from that, which is awesome.
This is bigger.
I interviewed for a real job, quote unquote, because I need to pay the bills. But
right on.
Yeah.
I love this card for that, Dan, because the number one, the Knight means it's the messenger. Like imagine it's he's riding up on a white horse like back in the Renaissance and medieval times. It's like the Knight brings news, and he's got the salamander, the elemental of fire, the lizards and the salamander, and he's facing to the right in this particular deck. Since you do tarot, you and Scarlett, this is the Morgan Greer deck, and he's facing to the right. His cape is bright sunflower yellow. His actual chainmail of the Knight is like done in a silvery, like a white silver, not a gray silver, and the salamander almost looks like a yellow, also like a dragon, kind of like a dragon mixture of a salamander and a lizard. And the Knight of Wands, in this deck it's called the Rods, the Knight of the Magic Wands, the Knight, the messenger of the fire element, is saying you've manifested it, you've done it. It's a yes.
Brother, that's good news.
Amazing.
I got to let you go though, because we got to take one more phone call and wrap up. But tell Scarlett.
Please let us know though. Email Joe. Let us
Keys.
know. Get on my Facebook. Let us know. Good to hear from you, and kisses to Scarlett.
Yeah. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you, guys. Thanks a lot.
Good night. Dan's been
He's
calling.
a loyal caller too.
Yeah,
I like
he's
that.
been calling the show for a long time. Brother
I
from
like
another
that.
mother. All right, let's
smart.
see. So I'm gonna pick one here, and then the rest of you guys, I'm sorry, but this one's been waiting the
You're going to
longest.
have to get a reading or join us next month.
That's right. 208 area code. You're on the air with Mary Dusina. Who are you speaking with?
Oh my gosh, you really did pick me. I'm so
You've been
happy.
waiting the longest.
I've been at work all night, and I've been wanting. You have no idea.
I think
anyway,
he does. I think he
this
does.
is Abby Normal.
Abby Normal.
Abby.
Hi.
What's
yeah,
up?
yeah. Just pull a card for me, Mary.
I got it. You've got the Two of Cups. That's the Two of Hearts.
Oh,
to
nice.
me, that's the Balanced Soulmate card. It's like a twin flame soulmate. Now, I'm not trying to throw all the energy onto your other person of interest or your special person of interest, but this is so much more powerful and much richer than just getting the Lover's card. Even though the Lover's card is a major triumph card, the Two of Cups is cheek
That's
to
twin
cheek.
energy. Gemini.
Yeah, eye to eye, heart fire to heart fire. So this could be like a beautiful life companion, whether it's, I don't want to limit it to saying that it's just romantic or it's just sexual, because it's much
twin.
richer than that. Yeah.
You found a
It's
soulmate.
like immortal.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's really good. So if you feel in your heart on this Leo new moon, if you feel in your heart that you've enjoyed and struggled and then enjoyed again getting over your own dark night of the soul, your own stuff, that the own poisons and pleasures that have come up in your saga of intimacy and rising above all of that, this is certainly a time first to thank yourself for working on those blind spots and those gaps and those scars and those tears of the heart that happened and how you put yourself back together. Really, congratulations. Good for you. So on this Leo new moon, you want to say to yourself, I love myself, and I'm so damn glad I figured out that I love myself.
Is she right? Is she right?
Yeah.
Look at that. That's awesome. That's what we're ending
I
on.
like that giggle.
She's like, yeah.
You know what? She giggled. Joe, she giggled and she breathed in at the same time. Yeah. Listen to that.
Yeah, she's
That's
happy.
a sensual giggle. I don't care what you say. That giggle's got some sensuality to it there, Missy Pissy.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good news. Everybody likes confirmation.
I am a
stuff
Scorpio.
like
So.
yeah, there you go. So,
oh, good.
well, thanks
it's a
for
good
your
time
call,
for Scorpio.
Abby.
Thank you, Abby
you,
Normal.
guys.
I like your name.
Bye.
I like it, Abby Normal.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You have a good night. That's a really good one to end on. And all the rest of you guys that are waiting, I'm so sorry. But you can always go to marydusina.com and get a reading, or wait till next time and try to get through. God, I hate that because we got to log out and they're like all in there and stuff.
But
so,
Joe, we got to be honorable to Ryan, and we got to be honorable
right.
to the divine sources that picks who's supposed to come on the show. At least I'm loyal. At least I come on once a month, and I'm right here. If y'all want to invest in your mountain mystic, we can take it as deep as you want to go.
Right on. Mary, thank you so much for doing this. And
Love you, Joe.
we got 30 seconds here. What do you want to tell everybody? Just this one last Leo message.
It's so important that you honor the light of the all that is, the almighty I am, however you choose to define that. I want you to participate in that, to act upon that, and to be a light in this world. You are creating the legend that you are in this lifetime. You're creating your legacy, and you're creating this new moon. What kind of legend? What is my legend in my life, and how do I want to manifest and create that, and will I allow it? Please say yes to yourself that you will. Be the light.
Be the light. Good night, guys. Thank you. Patrons, all of you, good night. We'll see you again tomorrow night. Stay tuned for the Secret Teachings with Ryan Gable. Have a good one.